Hello everyone, welcome to my today's session. So my topic is today about data management system. So the overall objective of this session is you will be able to manage educational data in a digital way. You will be able also to manage the prospective students' data and reduce the use of paper. You will be able to set up a complicated files. So before I begin my session, let me introduce myself briefly. So I'm Aryam Mulday. I'm a software engineer. I hold my bachelor degree from Al University, which is one of the best universities in Ethiopia. So to begin with introduction, first we will see what data is. So data is a collection of facts and figures which becomes an information when it's processed or interpreted. So it can exist in a variety of forms and it can be used as a basis for reasoning, discussion, or calculation in all areas of study. So to proceed with what data management system is, a data management system is the process of storing, processing, acquiring of data to ensure its reliability and accessibility. The data management system is a combination of different functions that collectively aim to make sure that the data is available, accurate, and accessible. So it promotes a greater collaboration and enhances security in all areas of study and professions. So we will see how do teachers use and manage data. How could they manage their students' data or the educational faculty data? So teachers use data to drive their decisions and plan to respond to solve their problems more effectively and to construct new teaching methods. And a classroom level data management system helps teachers to track their students' level of performance. And teachers should use data to modify classroom instruction to fit the students' needs better. So how teachers should use data to improve instructions or the medium of instruction between their students and themselves. So the first point is there are some ways of using data which help teachers to improve their instruction. The first one is the standardized tests gauge overall learning and identify the knowledge gaps within the students. It allows teachers to understand the major gaps students might have in the teaching learning process before they are in front of the classroom. So the second one is individual assessments reveal each student's needs. This allows to better fit the curriculum goals to be modified to reflect the individual needs of students and the overall class portrait the teacher has identified. The third one is the summative assessments catch learning roadblock. This provides an information about an individual function and a classroom performance, which is particularly good for teachers to identify the learning roadblocks or the learning ways. So we will see some steps which helps us to manage data effectively. So there are different ways or guides which enable us to manage data effectively. Some of them are taking security seriously. We have to be serious in security issues. We have to gather information ethically in a formal way. And we should back up our data. We should always have backup of our data. We should also think about the access. So the main steps to manage data in all areas of study. These are the steps. This next four steps are the basic steps which are applied in all areas of study, but we can add any other steps or any other guides regarding to our field of study, regarding to our profession, regarding to our institution where we work. So the main steps are we should be clear about what we want to know. And we should decide how to collect data. Either it can be using the questionnaire, either we can gather data or collect data with interview in person. In any ways, we should decide how to collect data. We should analyze data. analyzing data means differentiating or choosing which data is important for us. Not all data are important for us. We should analyze it, or we should choose which one would fit with our profession, with our institution's rule, with our profession at all. The first one is we should set priorities and goals. We should have a specific goal, and we should give things which should be prioritized. So in order to manage data, we do have some technical tools which helps us to manage our data effectively. So good data management enables the location, sharing, and reuse of data to reduce the redundancy of our data. So data management tools and best practices can also help to meet the data requirements of making data more accessible and discoverable. Thus, attributes of good data management reduce cost in terms of time and money. So we have different tools which can help us to manage our data, like Microsoft Excel, MySQL, Oracle, Teradata, and so on. So let me say something about Oracle and Teradata. Oracle allows users to manage both traditional and new datasets in a cloud platform. It's a huge platform, and Teradata also offers a broad spectrum of data management solutions that include data management, cloud data warehousing, and data warehouse appliances. So MySQL can be included in a Teradata. So to give you some information about MySQL, it's an open source relational database management system. So it's an application used for a wide range of purposes, including data warehousing. So it's applicable in a huge area of studies, in huge companies with a huge repository of data. These are applicable in huge companies with a huge repository of data. So one of the easiest tools to manage our data is the Microsoft Excel, which is suitable for us, which is easily found in everyone's personal computer. So Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application developed and published by a Microsoft company. It organizes data in rows and columns. The rows are called records, and the columns are called fields. So each cell and the rows and columns intersect at a space called a cell. Each cell can contain a single of data. I will show you in the next sessions. Each cell can contain a single of data such as texts, numerical values, or a formula. So there are some ways which we can format the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So Microsoft Excel provides different options for formatting a spreadsheet. The first one is we can change font type, size, or color of data in a cell. So to change the font type or size or color, select the cell you want to change, then choose the appropriate option on the Home tab font section on the ribbon. So the next, we should set data to be bold, italic, or underlined in a cell. So you can set a data to be bold, italic, or underlined to help bring attention to it. So to change the text format on the Home tab, font section of the ribbon, click the B for the bold, click the I icon for italic, or U icon for underline. The third one is we should change the background color of the cell. You can change the background color of the cell to a wide variety of colors to highlight that data in the spreadsheet. So to change the background color of the cell, select the cell you want to change. On the Home tab, Home section on the ribbon, click the paint bucket being tipped to the right. Select the desired background from the top drop-down window. Okay, we can also change the width of column or height of a row. So there are two ways to change the width of a column or height of a row. The one is on the Home tab, in the Sage section on the ribbon, click the Format option. In the drop-down icon, select the column width or row height to change the size of the column overall. So the second way is also to use your mouse to change the column width or the row height. For a column width change in the horizontal header bar, place the mouse cursor between the column you want to change. So let me show you some of the steps. So here is a sample Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. There we have the student's ID, their name, their last name, their age, and their education level for the time being. So this is called the cell where I am highlighting. For instance, to begin with the student ID, let's have the first one. So the student ID with 911 is, his first name is Tier, his last name is Anderson, his age is 22, and his education level is undergraduate. So if we want to change the font size, the color, and the type of the text, we should select the cell we want to change, and then choose. If I want to change the type and size and color of the student ID, I will go here. Then I can make it any type of, I can give it any format. I can also change the font size to 20, 18, 16, which is suitable for us to, it should be visible for all of us, and it should be clear, not be that much big or small. We can also fill the background color. So I select this ID and I can fill it with any color I want, either yellow, green, red, coffee blue, like so. So we could proceed whatever we want in Microsoft Excel using this main steps. So as I said before, in Teradata, we can include a database management system. So when a database is an organized collection of data, which is generally stored electronically from a computer system, sorry. So the database management system manages the incoming data, organizes it, and provides ways for the data to be modified or extracted by users or other programs. So some database management system examples include the MySQL, Oracle, FileMaker, SQL Server, Microsoft Access. So as I said before, MySQL is undoubtedly the most popular, widely used open source database. It's simple to set up and use. It's recognized as one of the database engines. It's also applicable in huge companies with a huge repository data. So the next is the Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access is a database management system from the Microsoft that combines the relational Microsoft Jet database engine and the graphical user interface, and also the software development tools. So Microsoft Access helps us to analyze large amounts of information and manage related data more efficiently than Microsoft Excel or other spreadsheet applications. So there are important terms and basic objects in Microsoft Access. The first one is the data file. Data file is a file which stores the entire database. Data types are the next. Data types are the priorities of each field. Every field has a data type. A table is the next. A table is an object which stores data in a row and a column for storing data. Query, the next one is query. queries answer a question by selecting and sorting and filtering data based on search criteria. A form is a database object that you can use to create a user graphical interface for a database application. The last one are modules. Modules are the procedures or functions which you can write using the Visual Basic for applications. So to see some differences in between the MS Access and MS Excel or Microsoft Access and Microsoft Excel, to begin with Microsoft Access, all data is stored one time in one place. In Microsoft Access, all data are stored in one place. But in Microsoft Excel, lots of worksheets or documents are stored within a similar repeat data. So in Microsoft Excel, within a single document, we can have different sheets according to our data. But in Microsoft Access, we don't have worksheets or similar sheets. All the data are stored in one place. We can save or store data in different places in Microsoft Excel within a single document. The next one is Microsoft Access deals with the text, numbers, files, and all kinds of data. But Microsoft Excel deals with a numerical data. The next one is users will be able to enter the data more efficiently and accurately in Microsoft Access, but in Microsoft Excel, data accuracy and speed is not much because of the format. So Microsoft Access is more recommended than Microsoft Excel. The last one is Microsoft Access can help us to build highly functional data entry forms and report templates. But in Microsoft Excel, only a primary data entry screen is available. But in Microsoft Access, we can have different functional data entry forms and report templates. So let's see how to create a database in Microsoft Access. The first step is open Microsoft Access in your computer. Since it's available in all computers, it's product of Microsoft, so it's a must to have a Microsoft Access in our personal computers. It can be Microsoft Access of 2010, it could be 2017, or it could be 2006, whatever the version is, but Microsoft Access is present in all our personal computers. So open your MS Access or Microsoft Access in your computer. The second step is choose New, or Access displays a variety of database templates you can use. So I will show you how to use the Microsoft Access later, but let's see the steps briefly. So the first step is click an icon such as a blank database or any database template. The fourth step is click in the file name text box and type the descriptive name for your database. Click the create button to create your database file. So after your database is created, right click on the newly created table and select the design view. So it will prompt you to save your table first, enter name for the table and click OK. Then the screen lets you add columns and their data types to the table. So keep the first column as is because it generates a unique ID for each of your items. So a unique ID or a primary key enables us to see the columns or rows singularly. For instance, like an ID. An ID cannot be the same for all. Rather it's unique for all of us. So the primary key is given to the ID. The ninth step is, as we are building a student database, put your cursor in the second field and type the student's name. So choose text from the data type field. So for the student name, we should also fill the correct data type, which enables us to proceed with our storing data. enter age at the next field name and choose number from the data type drawdown menu. So add any other field, any field type you want based on the institution rules and field of study based on your field of study. Let me show you how to use the Microsoft Access. So this is the Microsoft Access. Due to its powerful features, MS Access is often used in a business environment. So when opening Access, a startup page opens divided into two parts. On the left side, okay. So on the left, you can find an open and existing Access file. Okay. And on the right, you can start with a new document by taking a ready template from the list. Here are the ready templates, and on the left, there are an existing Access file or database files. So in order to see how to use Access, let's just start from a blank database. So we will click here. Here is the blank database. So defining its file name and where to save it. So let's save it first. Let's create. Microsoft Access. So here we go. Let's start with the blank database. So let's press the create button. Okay, let's save our file and table name. So the new Access database opens on the workspace, as you can see. So tables are used to collect and store data in order to create your own database. So these are made by columns and rows. So these are the columns, these are the columns, and these are the rows. These are made, the columns are called fields and define the kind of data that each of the table must save. And the rows are records and represent a single sample of data. So by default, your access has a single table called table 1, as you can see. Click on the click to add to select the data format and then type a name for the field. So let's click the click to add. So let's give the ID as number. So as you can see, the primary key is used to identify each record singularly. So let's create a table design. So as you can see, there is a tab which is a table design under tables. So right click on table design. So here is it. You can give any field name and data type. For instance, let's start with the student ID. Student ID. So the data type will be auto number. It will give automatically or by default, the system will give the ID number for the students for the time being. So next will be, but since ID is unique for everyone, it should be a primary key. Since a primary key is used to identify each record singularly, and ID is also the same as the primary key to identify the students singularly. and uniquely. The second field name is the first name. First name. So name will have a data type of text. The last name also will have the data type of text. Also, we can include an age of the students. So age cannot be text, rather it should be a number. We can also include date of birth if needed. Date of birth. So the data type should be date or time data type. Next, you can also add an email address of the students. So the data type will be a text. You can add also any other fields depending on your courses, depending on your institution guidelines, depending on your interest. You can add any field name, but with a proper data type. So here is our table with student ID, first name, last name, age, date of birth, and email address. So we're going to save our table. Table students. So let's close the table and let's see what we have done. So here is the table we created with student ID, with the first name, last name, age, date of birth, email, and we can also add your own field's name. So the first name, let's say Steve. As you can see here, the student ID is given by default or automatically by the computer itself. Since it's a primary key and we gave the data type as auto number, it will give the number automatically. So the last name Anderson. His age is 20. Date of birth 1908. Email Steve Anderson at gmail.com. So you can adjust your fields regarding to the length of the texts by drag and drop. So here is the first data. So the next will be Emily. However, her age is 28. Emily. So as you can see, the difference between the MS Access and Microsoft Excel, we can save all the data like what we have done before in Microsoft Access, but in Microsoft Excel, let me go back to Microsoft Excel, different sheets like sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. So within a single data, you put different data regarding to the sheets given there. We can also add sheets. So, but in MS Access, we cannot do such things. We only have to store our data, put our data properly within a single document in one place. So these are the main difference between MS Access and Microsoft Excel. I think it's clear. So we can also import and export. We can import any external databases. So as fields are filled with data, the database is created. So to gather data, you can also import. We can also import an external file. So to import an external database, we should go to external data, and then the new data source. So here we can import text file, XML files, and also other file types like HTML document. It can be an XML document, it can be a text file, it can be an Excel document. We can also import external files from whatever we want. Either we could have saved imports, whatever we want, we could import. We can import external files from our computer. So I think this makes unique the Microsoft Access. These are the main features which can differentiate the MS Excel and MS Access. You can use whatever you want based on your interest, based on your field study, based on the institution guide, but it's recommended to use Microsoft Access than Microsoft Excel. So let's continue to my PowerPoint. So the benefits of data management. There are some benefits of data management. Data management provides the structure for information to be easily shared without with others, or it can be with our colleagues, it can be with the institution itself, but it provides the structure for information to be easily shared. It allows information to be stored for future reference and easy retrieval. We can refer our data, our stored data, or we can also retrieve data easily from what we have stored. It also enables us to make more accurate decisions since our data is managed properly, precisely, effectively, and efficiently. We are able also to decide more accurate decisions than anyone based on data management, regarding data management. So it will also reduce data loss. We couldn't lose any data since we can manage our data properly, we can handle it properly. So it will also reduce the data loss. Those are some benefits of data management, but you can see practically more after you manage your data properly, effectively, and efficiently. I think it's helpful for you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for attending my webinar and my presentations. If you have any question regarding to my presentations, you're welcome. Thank you so much.